Hi, it's Katherine Hanson here, and we are going to get started on week one of our Empowered Women's Circle. So excited to have you here. I've got some slides prepared and some specific tasks to present to you this week. So let's get started, and I will share my screen so that you can see some of the graphics and the slides that have been prepared. Hopefully, you will be able to see these slides and learn a little bit about our Empowered Women's Circle. We are here to strengthen your body, elevate your mind, and nurture your soul. We are a wellness movement for women. So the legal stuff, as with any wellness content, this presentation is for informational purposes only. If you have any concerns about your health, mental health, physical health, if you're undertaking any diet, exercise, dietary supplement, or health-related program, you want to make sure you consult your health professional. And that is no different with this Empowered Women's Circle. Even though we've brought lots of experts to you, we want to make sure you're in good hands with your own physician. So welcome to our circle of support. We're so glad to have you here. Just a reminder to visit our homepage, and that is probably this page that you're actually on. We've got 4 steps for you to complete to embody our shared agreements, commit to yourself mostly, some action items on that homepage in those steps, and some ways that you can support us, and some ways that we are going to continue in an ongoing fashion supporting you. Our shared agreements are something that we take very seriously, so I am going to go through those for the first couple of weeks and make sure we're all on the same page. But we are a women's circle, meaning you are part of the circle and there's no end and no beginning, and we're really happy to dialogue and take feedback about any of our shared agreements. So we show up in our power and participate fully. If we have questions or concerns that pertain to personal challenges that may need to go deeper than what we are providing in our women's circle, we agree to utilize resources, and we will certainly happily provide you with some of those. We share resources and generate support for each other in a very generous fashion. We take inspired and generative action each week, knowing, of course, that as with anything, we bring our best, we will get our best in return, and we will ultimately elevate the entire group, which is the goal of having us all together. We maintain confidentiality, and above all, we are an inclusive group. We extend acceptance, love, and support to anyone who shows up fully in our women's circle. So welcome. We are here to talk today very briefly about the approach to power. So when we say step into your power, we say you are a powerful woman. What exactly does that mean? We live in a world that has been essentially through history created by men and for men. And there's been a very masculine approach to being powerful. Now, what is a masculine approach to being powerful, and when is it really important? Well, there's lots of situations when it's exceptionally important to have this approach, and many, many women have these qualities. In fact, all women have these qualities, whether they tap into them or not, of being able to approach life with those masculine traits and qualities. Essentially, the masculine approach is to create from the outside in. So very structured and focused and task-oriented, very driven, and very linear. So this is the way that I learned, for example, in medical school. It was very much about to-do lists and memorization, about protocols and procedures and stepwise approaches to various health conditions. And of course, if we're saving lives or we're managing high reliability organizations, corporate tasks, things like that, the masculine approach is absolutely essential. But if there's been times when you have felt like you are perhaps a square peg in a round hole, or vice versa, you're feeling somewhat like you don't exactly fit, and this really driven, forceful approach to getting things done doesn't always sit right with you, That is because as women, and we're all women in this empowered women's circle, we actually have through history created from a more feminine approach. Now, we all have masculine qualities within us, whether we're male or female, and we all have feminine qualities within us, whether we're male or female. But when we talk about a feminine approach to being powerful, it really is about understanding how free-flowing creative pursuits can be, how open and flexible we are as women, how compassionate and how connected, and how we actually prioritize connection and relationships and communication. And feminine approach is truly to create your life, to create really anything you decide to create from the inside out. So that doesn't mean you don't have masculine approaches when you need it. You know, when I'm, for example, running a code in the emergency room, which I haven't done in a long time, thankfully. But if I was doing that, it would be very checklist oriented, and there would be a checklist and tasks and steps that had to be completed, and nothing could be missed. And that's really, really important. And sometimes we have to function that way in life. But when we're talking about the areas of life that we are creating within the Empowered Women's Circle, and I'm really excited to share more about that with you, we want to be thinking about going from the inside out, considering who we are as women, what we bring to the world, what our biggest contributions are, and shift to a more free-flowing, connected, communication-oriented approach to life. So I love this quote by Marilyn Monroe: "I don't mind living in a man's world as long as I can be a woman in it." And so in this Empowered Women's Circle, in order to be truly empowered as women, we want to become circular pegs in circular holes, for example. We want to fit. And in order to fit, we need to understand what that feminine approach to power is and what it is we're trying to create and how we're going to do that. So what's the first step? In this Empowered Women's Circle, these weekly sessions, we're really, really going to go slow. And so the concept for today is to take your first step to know yourself, to really know yourself. And I know that you are very likely burnt out. You've got way too many hats to wear, way too many roles and responsibilities, and you're thinking, when on earth do I have time to know myself? Or maybe you're thinking, where have I gone in all of this? And I completely understand. So I've been seeing patients in the office for 20 years now, and women come in feeling exhausted. And so I'm urging you to become part of this Empowered Women's Circle and to really get the most out of it. We're going to give you some small action steps each week. And this week, it's really simple. Just start thinking about what's going on inside of you and listen to it. Listen to the whispers. Really get in touch with your core values. And unfortunately, I see on the slide, it's cut off a little bit, but I want you to get in touch with your core values. Those are the non-negotiables about you. Those are the things about you that, for example, the people who know you well would already know about you. And sense into what are your deeper yearnings for your life. And we're going to unfold this. We're going to unpack this. We're going to expand on this as we go. Little steps here. So really pull out a beautiful journal. Make it yours for the duration of our work together. And really get in touch with who you are at your core. You're going to have to do some quiet reflection time. So you're going to have to set aside some time. Really interesting that in the 60s, the relaxation response was discovered. And there's real science to show us that sitting quietly and just reflecting, so yoga, meditation, prayer, sometimes a slow walk, or just journaling, something that allows you to sit quietly, actually creates a nurturing and healing physiology within your body. So there are lots of physical benefits to doing this, but we're really going to focus on a lot of the mental, emotional, and spiritual benefits of sitting quietly. Now, there's many areas of life that you may want to make as your focus. And in fact, you may want to make all of them as your focus. But what I want you to do as you're sitting quietly and you're journaling, really getting to know yourself and your core values and who you are and what you bring to the world, and just spending time with yourself, probably like you have never done or maybe haven't done in a long time. I want you to consider for the next, let's say, 12 weeks, there'll be an area of focus for you. Now, there'll be a ripple into all areas, but it's really something that you're going to bring to the table to every weekly session, to all of our in-person sessions, if you're able to make it, and we really want you to come so we can meet you. But it could be in the area of your healthy body or a healthy weight. A lot of women want to lose weight. It could be in the area of love and relationships, money, wealth, prosperity, career, life purpose. Maybe it's parenting. Maybe it's caregiving for an older parent. Maybe it's career progression. I mean, there's so many areas that women come into the office expressing that they're ready or that they're feeling restless. They're maybe feeling constricted and contained in an area and thinking, you know what, it's time that I break out of this container and I actually bring my best to a certain area of life. So it doesn't have to be something listed here on the slide, but any area that you want to improve on can become your focus. And you don't have to be super specific about it right now, but the more specific you can be, the easier it will be for you to do exercises moving forward. So each week, we're going to bring to you some weekly goals. If you haven't yet, I want you to go back and complete the 4 steps outlined on the homepage. So it may seem like a lot. Just to recap, there's a 40-minute video for you to see there. Or if you can't do 40 minutes at once, you can even grab the audio and listen in your car, which I do a lot of times. But if you can't do 40 minutes, it's broken into 4 segments for you. So 4 segments of about 10 minutes each, and maybe that's easier. But complete those 4 steps because it really gives you an idea who we are and lets you know what we're aligned with, and also how you can support us, because this is a women's circle. This is not meant to be a lecture series. We're really looking to lock arms with other empowered women, ready, motivated, and willing to step up into their best. We want you to return weekly and watch your inbox for the recorded session that will guide your progress and will ultimately guide our in-person sessions as well. And each week, we're going to have something for your body, inside and out. So in addition to that quiet reflection time and trying to find your specific focus for our Empowered Women's Circle, we're bringing to you information from multiple wellness experts. So I'm going to go to a actual transcript from 2 of our wellness leaders because I think they've said it better than I can say it. And our certified holistic life coach, April, and our NASM certified personal trainer and precision nutrition certified coach, Marcia, have collaborated to help us address some of women's biggest issues and to provide a call to action to work on our bodies from the inside out. So we've created a 12-week program to help you jumpstart into a healthier lifestyle and teach you how to take better care of you so you can do better by taking care of the people, so you can do better at taking care of the people in your life that you love. So the program will be broken down into 4 different 3-week cycles, addressing 1 issue at a time for 3 weeks. Each week, you will be given some tips, and we will provide you with a call to action checklist to complete. So we are on week 1, and from April, we're talking about chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue plagues women like no other issue. Now, this isn't necessarily chronic fatigue syndrome, like you would have a specific diagnosis. This is the huge number of women that come into my office and April's practice who are just completely exhausted. This is one of the biggest complaints that we hear in our practice. And although there may be many reasons that we can have this symptom, there are a few simple things we can do to try and alleviate the amount of fatigue we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So for the first 3 weeks of our 12-week cycle, April's going to give us some tips on battling chronic fatigue. And this week, she has explained that chronic fatigue can sometimes be a result of lymph node congestion. So we get stagnated and lymph is not moving around. And of course, lymph nodes are what drain all the wastes and deliver it to our blood in order to be excreted from our body. So if lymph is congested, then we're going to feel sluggish, and a lot of our wastes and toxins and byproducts are not actually being removed from our body. So April says one of the ways we can flush or get the lymph nodes flowing again is through a technique called rebounding. Basically, where we get into a movement by doing an up and down fashion. So it's basically bouncing in one spot. Another way to support congested lymph nodes is to apply diluted cypress essential oil. We can get you more information about that. So from our certified personal trainer, her very, very first call to action is around nutritional deficits, and then also the importance of movement. So if you're battling chronic fatigue, April talks about this in her session this week, clear lymph node congestion by rebounding. Basically, use the body in an up and down fashion, sort of like bouncing in one spot. And I'll add to this too, that I've been on retreats where we have actually done what we would call pounding, where we take our hands and we actually sort of pound our chest, much like Tarzan did, I guess, but also under the arms and around the back and on the thighs and behind the knees and all the places that would actually benefit from some extra circulation. And then cypress essential oil is another really interesting complementary approach to some of this fatigue. And from Marcia, vitamins and minerals are lacking in most diets. So she says nutrient deficits are extremely common among men and women alike, even in healthy individuals with seemingly healthy diets. So most people's diets fall short of many vitamins and minerals, and the deficiencies can lead to a number of health issues and difficulty losing weight. So according to one study that Marcia has quoted here, the nutrients most at risk for deficiency are iodine. 100% of diets deficient in iodine. Wow. Vitamin D. 95% of diets deficient in vitamin D. This was in one study. Zinc, 80% of the diets were deficient in zinc. Vitamin E, 65% of the diets were deficient in vitamin E. Calcium, 50% of the diets were deficient in calcium. And calories, 50% of the diets were deficient in calories. So the last one, calories, is very interesting. When women try to lose weight, they often go on diets that can restrict certain foods and cut calories, and therefore they usually create even more deficiencies. So another extremely important nutrient that is up to 95% of the population is deficient in is essential fatty acids. So taking high quality vitamins, minerals, and supplements is so vital to optimal health. And we've talked a little bit about that already. So I'll continue with Marcia's information here. With each person or each woman in this Empowered Women's Circle, we are unique. And we're going to be talking a lot more about how we're unique in our mind and our body and our soul. But Marcia is obviously referring here to our nutritional requirements. That is why our group of wellness leaders strongly believes in the ID Life Health Assessment. So this week, we are encouraging you to find out exactly what vitamins and supplements are right for you. Once you complete the health history, ID Life will give you a multiple page health report and then recommend some supplements that will fill your core needs, as well as some advanced optional supplements that can provide you with even more health benefits. And all of this is free. So if you want some help going through your health assessment, you can contact any of the wellness leaders. We're all listed on this homepage. You don't have to buy anything. There's no obligation or commitment. This Empowered Women's Circle is all about strengthening your body, elevating your mind, and nurturing your soul. But you can have a better understanding of your health by doing this free health assessment and reading the health report. You can choose to take the list of recommended supplements to your favorite vitamin supplement shop and buy them there. But one thing we want to be absolutely certain you understand is that a lot of times what's on the shelf is not actually good quality. So what it says on the label may not even be in the bottle. And so pharmaceutical grade is the term you're looking for to ensure that you're actually getting what the label says is inside. And ID Life's supplements are pharmaceutical grade as well as customized to your unique needs. So this is where you will go through all of the health history on your assessment. Again, it's all free. You'll get a health report. You can see on this slide, there'll be a place to download your health report. It's incredible information, and you'll get a health score. You'll also see where the peer-reviewed medical journals are listed, and this is really important for you to understand why you're being recommended certain nutrients, and also that you're being recommended in a safe, studied dose. So a safe, studied dose. This isn't mega dosing. This isn't taking as much as you can. This is making sure that according to your history, you're getting the right dose of each supplement. Now, also from Marcia, regarding getting your body moving. The first step in keeping your body well is simply to move it. So for our first 3 weeks of this 12-week cycle, we will have a call to action to get some movement. When you're beginning, it doesn't have to be anything complicated or super hard. Just move. Do what you enjoy. So have some fun. This week, Marcia is simply asking us to move for 15 minutes at least once. So once this week, you need to move for 15 minutes. Walk the dog, ride your bike around the neighborhood, dance around the living room to 4, 5, or 6 of your favorite songs. Take your kids roller skating, get out there with them for 15 minutes. Whatever it is you enjoy, go do it. Note, we're asking you to move for 15 minutes just once this week. But if you want to do more and you feel good doing it, go for it. Now, in the office, this is Marcia now, this is me. Back in the office, I often see women come in that say, you know, I run around after the kids, I have a busy job, I walk around a lot at work, I get a lot of steps when I'm at work, things like that. This activity that we want you to do is over and above what you would normally do. So I always say to people, you know, if you want to keep doing what you're doing, that's great. But if you eventually you will deteriorate and it will be harder to do the things you do every day. So if you want to protect yourself from that deterioration, you actually have to do something harder than you expect your body to do each day at work or running after the kids or doing the housework, things like that. So this is asking you to do 15 minutes, one time this week. Have fun doing it and make it over and above what you would normally do. Let your light shine, and we will see you next week.